It's Julia.
And MK.
And we're back
to talk about mindset.
Yay! Just in time for the CrossFit Open in 2 weeks. I think almost 3 weeks from now. We have a really exciting topic for you today. We're going to talk about mindset, what it is, why it matters. MK's got a great example to break it down for you all, and then we're going to give you some key strategies to walk away with. So, mindset. What is it? A lot of you guys probably know. But mindset is essentially your thoughts, your beliefs, your attitudes, your perspectives that shape the way you interact with the world, the way that you respond to the things in your life that happen to you. Why does it matter? Positive mindsets tend to have more positive, facilitative reactions to these events, while negative mindsets tend to lead us to spiraling and probably bring more negativity into our lives. So to simplify it, we have good mindset / growth mindset, bad mindset / fixed mindset. And MK is going to give us an example of a time that you've had more of a bad mindset.
Yes. So for the longest time when I was training, I absolutely hated running. Anytime I would have running come up in my programming, I would just be so mad and I would try to avoid it or, delay it any way I could. And I would just be like, I'm so bad at this. It's not my favorite thing. And I just had like the worst attitude towards running for the longest time. So that was like an example of something that, I dealt with for a while.
Yeah, and that's a great example, I think, of a fixed mindset, right? When we see something that we think or we know we're not good at, having those thoughts of, I'm not good at this, I'm never going to be good at this, other people are better than me, is going to impact your performance. That comparison, the other people being better than me, whether it's on your team, whether it's other members of the gym, whether it's your competitors, and then that fear of failure too. Right, I'm not going to perform well. I'm going to embarrass myself around other people. People are going to say, oh my God, I can't believe that she's not a good runner. All of that.
It's like silly.
But it's real.
Yeah.
All of that is you're going to internalize it and it's going to impact your performance. How did you overcome having those attitudes and that mindset?
So really what it came down to was I kind of just was annoyed with myself for just like having this attitude. And so I realized, I'm like, okay, if you continue to hate running, hating it is not going to make you better at it. And I wanted to get better at running, so I realized I had to kind of be okay that it wasn't the thing that I was the best at, and like accept that and be able to move on and at least tell myself like, okay, like I may not be the best runner, but I am going to give my best effort to this workout. And that definitely helped me improve and at least be more willing to, just feel better, like feeling better about it helped me have a better performance. So telling myself like, it's okay, you're just gonna do your best, like whatever happens is gonna happen. And yeah, over time that deep hate became acceptance, and then after more time had passed, it was like, oh, okay, like I'm actually getting better, I'm seeing positive results, and I was feeling physically better about it.
Something you said reminded me of something that you say, which is that you can't hate yourself into getting better. Mm-hmm. You can't hate yourself into changing, right? You can't just keep saying, I suck, I'm awful, I hate this about myself, and hope that over time you're going to see the performance outcomes that you're hoping for. Mm-hmm. Before we get into cultivating, you gave some great suggestions and strategies of what you did. Before we actually get into cultivating a good mindset, we want to talk a little bit more about how having those thoughts trickle down or loop around and ultimately impact your performance. And because I'm a visual person, I think you're a visual person as well, we've put this lovely little diagram, very simple diagram for you, and we're going to break down each component. We'll have a little description of this at the bottom in our caption. But so we're gonna start here. So I want you to tell me again, when you were having more of the bad mindset, some of the thoughts that you were having.
Ooh, yeah, so that was like, I suck at running, I hate running, I'm not good, I don't like this, I don't want to do this, why do I have to do this? That really sums it up, all the thoughts that I was having.
Yeah, and I'm sure you guys can relate, whether it's running or a workout with thrusters or some movement that you just don't excel at, or maybe you're good at it, but the experience that you have while doing it is one that you don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
How did those thoughts impact how you felt? Like, how do you end up feeling after kind of going through all of that in your head?
I mean, yeah, it definitely just made me feel bad. I mean, it made me unmotivated to get better. Like physically, I would feel like at a way lower energy when I'm like, even though I have to go do this running workout, I would be starting at a lower energy than I would have if I was like, had a better mindset about it. So yeah, physically lower energy, and unmotivated, and just, those are probably those two biggest things.
Yeah. So you were thinking, I suck, I'm not enjoying this, I don't want to do this. Your emotions, you're feeling defeated, you're unmotivated, you're probably nervous, just don't want to do it. And then physiologically, you're at a lower energy than you would need for optimal performance.
Yeah.
Other people might be on the opposite end where they have all of these thoughts and now they're jacked up with anxiety, their heart rate is racing, their cortisol levels are up, they're sweating, you might have some tummy issues before the event, right? I think we can relate to all of that. Ultimately, what did your performance look like?
Yeah, I mean, when I was just training by myself, I wouldn't necessarily, I wasn't performing against anyone in particular, but I know that having that attitude going into it definitely didn't make my performance any better. For a long time, when I had that mindset, I didn't see a lot of improvements with my running, but eventually when I was able to change that and have better attitude was when I started to see decent improvements with with my times and what my paces were and things like that. And when I got to a competition where running did show up, I wasn't afraid anymore that I was just going to fail. I was like, oh no, you've been doing this, you've been training, you've been putting in the time and effort. And so I had that to rely on and fall back on. Even if I knew it wasn't going to be my best event, I knew that I had a better shot than I would have thought before.
Yeah, and something that I often tell clients is don't quit your workout or don't lose in your mind before you've even had the opportunity to perform it live. So what you're describing is, okay, let's replace these negative thoughts with positive. It can even just be like instructional, right? Like, I am going to run and I am going to have a good experience and I'm going to try my best. My performance matters. My performance has had an impact. Now, the emotions you probably had was you probably felt calmer, more confident, more focused, right? The kinds of emotions that then lead to lower levels of cortisol, right? Less stress, more probably the right heartbeat that you needed for you in particular, so you're not super apathetic, but your heart rate's not skyrocketing, or you're not totally just like numb to what's about to happen, which ultimately will have a positive impact on your performance.
Yeah.
The reason the arrow continues is because it's not one and done. You don't just go into it having a positive attitude, have the emotions that you need, the physiological response you're looking for, you crush your performance. I imagine throughout your run, you kind of have to keep coming back to your thoughts.
Yeah.
The whole time is probably not rainbows and butterflies and I'm so good at this, right? But it's that balance of being able to meet the negative thoughts with something more productive.
Yeah, or even being if it gets hard, it's okay if it gets challenging, knowing that you can handle the challenge, and that you're still putting your best effort into it. Because I mean, there's I don't know if I've ever, from start to finish of a workout, been like, I'm absolutely crushing this the entire time. So yeah, it's kind of, it's having that attitude that no matter how, like, what comes up in a workout, you're still going to give it your best effort, even if it's not your favorite thing.
Yep. No, I love that. And I think what it comes down to also for you guys is the goal is not to not feel anxious, to not get stressed. It'd be great if we could control our emotions to that degree, but it's what attitude are you going to have to meet yourself with when you are feeling anxious, when you are feeling stressed. And the first thing you can always come back to is your thoughts. So 3 strategies for you all if you're working on cultivating a positive mindset. And we both deeply believe in this, but one is you have to raise awareness. You have to become aware of your thoughts, how you talk to yourself, what you tell yourself, and how that impacts your performance. You're really good at keeping a thought journal and writing down the thoughts that you want to have. We also want you guys to write down the thoughts that you're having after your performances throughout your day. How do you talk to yourself about yourself? What's that little voice saying? The second thing is to start replacing the negative thoughts, the unproductive thoughts, with positive ones or instructional ones, right? Like I know for a lot of us working on positive thinking might not align 100%. So instead of the thought of, I suck at this, if it's running that you're working on, the thought that you're gonna have is, I'm gonna put my left foot and my right foot, my left foot and my right foot, right?
Breathe.
Breathe. I'm going to breathe, right? Something that just instructs the movement and whatever it is you're doing. And you can do this, right? Take all those thoughts that you wrote, put them in one, left-hand side, and then go through determining whether you need to replace them and what you're gonna replace them with, and then to actually practice those thoughts. The last and final one just for now, and we'll come back to mindset throughout the series, but it's aligning your thoughts. What are you guys hoping to achieve in the open, in your workouts, in your life? And what kind of thoughts align with that kind of outcome? I don't know if you want to add anything to any of that.
No, I think that nicely sums it up. And the biggest thing is that it's not just like a one and done thing. This is something that can take a lot of time. It has taken me years to continue to improve, but all that matters is that you start. If you want to make a positive change, you have to start somewhere, and it can be the smallest little thing. That even if it's just one thought, it doesn't have to be everything that you're just going to try to overhaul. So start small. Start with one thought and see if you can improve it, and everything will just come naturally after that.
I think the big thing that I also want to make sure you guys get a takeaway from, and that I didn't add at the beginning, is mindset. It's nurture, it's developed, it can be changed. A lot of how you think about yourself now was likely shaped by how you were raised, the experiences you had as a kid, the experiences you had as a young athlete or maybe a non-athlete, and now you're coming in with all of that, and like MK said, you're not going to be able to undo years and years and years of talking to yourself a certain way, of having other people talk to you in a certain way. So yeah, start small, just become aware, write them down, keep a journal, start replacing, rewriting, reframing, and practicing, and then align it. Who do you want to be? How do you want to perform? What do you see for yourself? What thoughts align to helping you achieve that outcome?
Sounds good.
Let us know what you think. If you need any advice, any more help, reach out. All right, stay tuned for next week.